As her possessions were removed in trash bags and storage bins while baby CJ was apparently still inside the house, Chrisean Rock was spotted sobbing while standing on a porch and begging, "Please just let me explain," in a devastating and unplanned moment. Sources claim that she was shut out of the house for a few seconds, which might have been the most agonizing part of her lengthy and tumultuous relationship with Blueface and his family. Was the emotional breakdown the result of a scenario that had been unraveling for months or even years, not merely another tumultuous episode in a partnership that was notoriously tumultuous? A family that is falling apart at the seams has been silently observed by CJ. After Blueface's father, Papa Blue, broke his silence and took a step that shocked the entire world. What had begun as simmering tension has now exploded into a full-blown crisis. Although their turmoil has always been messy and frequently featured on social media and reality TV, the repercussions this time were profound and real. According to someone familiar with the matter, Papa Blue asserted that he was done with the mayhem and was intervening to shield his grandson from the unpredictability because he didn't want the boy to grow up in a cycle of change. But based on how everything transpired, it appears that this was a show rather than merely a discreet intervention. Reality TV cameras were reportedly already set up, lights were on, microphones were in use, and producers appeared to have been preparing for the alleged emotional explosion. It is especially devastating because she went into that house intending to raise a family, not to destroy herself. By posting adorable images of the nursery and meaningful words about parenting, Chrisean was attempting to turn a new page and portray a more compassionate side to a world that had previously only seen mayhem. In the days leading up to the eviction, there was a fleeting optimism that she would finally shift the narrative, but that hope was dashed in one afternoon. She saw the storm coming but couldn't avoid it. So what at the time looked like sadness over Blueface now seems more like a silent warning. According to insiders, Blueface, who is presently incarcerated, was still pulling strings from the inside, allegedly giving the go-ahead to store her possessions and informing his father that Chrisean would need to demonstrate her stability if she wanted to play a part in CJ's life. On Instagram, she had previously shared mysterious posts that said, "Pray for me, I'm not okay." He said he didn't want his son's life to become a music video with a lot of exits and re-entries, according to one insider. There is a lot of disagreement over whether this decision was made to safeguard the child or as a form of punishment masquerading as accountability. Since her possessions, including clothing and baby bottles, were packed away while she wailed on the porch, totally cut off, many Chrisean supporters don't think this was out of concern, but rather a conscious erasure. They didn't just evict her, they tried to erase her, one fan said. She appeared to be rewriting her story for a brief period of time, but as soon as that hope began to take root, it fell apart in the days before her eviction. She was barefoot in flip-flops, her face smeared with tears, and the shaky smartphone footage revealed her without any cameras or filters, just a mother on the verge of breaking her silence. By sharing images of a meticulously decorated nursery, sharing personal notes about her path into motherhood, and displaying a vulnerable side rarely seen in the midst of previous conflicts, Chrisean had been subtly setting the foundation for a new beginning. Blueface was allegedly planning activities from behind bars even though he was incarcerated. According to people familiar with the matter, he gave his father the order to assume control and approved the disposal of her possessions. Insiders claim that he compared the instability to a dramatic music video and didn't want his kid CJ to live in emotional turmoil. Sometimes you give people your soul, and they still treat you like a stranger. And pray for me, I'm not okay. Which at the time felt like mysterious thoughts but read more like kind requests for assistance, or maybe subliminal admissions that she knew what was coming but couldn't stop it. Exits and entrances. That choice has generated a lot of debate. Was it a deliberate blow delivered in the name of good parenting, or was it a protective measure for the child's welfare? The Noble story, which explains that this was an attempt to keep her out of the picture rather than for safety, is not believed by many of Chrisean's supporters. She stood on the threshold, broken and barred out, and the pictures alone revealed sad baby outfits, bottles, and memories stored away. They wanted to obliterate her, not just remove her, as one admirer put it so eloquently. If anyone believed she would disappear without a trace, they were mistaken. The emotional whiplash generated by the event was what made it so shocking. The subsequent text conversations that emerged revealed a totally different reality from the one in which Chrisean was depicted as a threat to her own child. According to both public declarations and rumored insider leaks, Blueface's family had intensified the claim that Chrisean was too erratic, too emotional, and too unstable to take care of CJ. The video, which was captured on a shaky phone, showed Chrisean with his eyes swollen with weeping and without any makeup or gloss. He was also wearing flip-flops. The alleged statements from Blueface. "You know I still love you. They're just doing too much right now. Don't let them push you out," shattered that painstakingly constructed narrative in a matter of seconds. The eviction was carried out in the name of responsibility and protection, with the goal of giving CJ a drama-free environment. Not only was the contradiction perplexing, but it was also unsettling. How could someone orchestrate such a brutal and degrading public spectacle while still displaying kindness in private? For many Chrisean fans, that query revealed a subtle but disturbing type of control and manipulation that went beyond any tabloid story or viral video. The goal was to retain the mother's emotional attachment while denying her agency. For this reason, a lot of people began calling it emotional abuse. It's psychological warfare to be told that you are loved despite the chaos in your life, and to be warned not to allow them to push you out just before your possessions, including your child's crib, are put in storage. This type of gaslighting leaves one wondering if they are being hushed, reprimanded, shielded, or supported. The Yam narrative, and perhaps over her and Chrissy as he distanced himself from the consequences. He was able to appear conflicted and sympathetic by shifting all the guilt to his family, but even that conflicted persona was called into question when it was said that he told his family to make the eviction messy for show. As women, particularly mothers, are often publicly criticized, Chrisean became a symbol of a more painful reality that resonated far beyond her fan base, and the loving text messages began to resemble strategy words chosen not to console but to confuse in many ways. Because this was about more than just one woman's breakdown on a porch, the internet reacted with anger rather than sympathy. It was about the weaponization of perception, the delicate balance between control and concern, and the devastating emotional cost of being portrayed as unstable when all you're trying to do is keep your life and your child together. Artists that had previously worked with Blueface discreetly unfollowed him or removed their previous collaborations after the music industry took notice. The shade alert was informed by an unnamed producer. According to reports, Chrisean was working on a diss track in the studio that would target the entire family in addition to Blueface. The hook allegedly reads, "You can steal the crib, but you can't take the crown." This is connected to both inhumanity and bad branding. If she calls people out by name outside of the drama-filled house, many predict it will go viral overnight. As the situation worsened, security personnel were seen patrolling the property, and paparazzi began to pour in. A widely shared video shows crying attempting to return only to be told, "You don't get to trash that, it's my baby's bed," and being denied entry. Although some supporters gathered outside the gate holding homemade posters stating that Blueface's family was a toxic empire and that CJ should be with his mother, the legal situation was becoming more complicated behind the scenes. There was a startling new allegation on websites that Papa Blue's ex-wife was drafting a custody petition, not by Chrisean or Blueface, but by her. She demanded complete guardianship until another assessment, claiming both parents were unsuitable. Since Chrisean isn't named on CJ's birth certificate, it might prevent her from having any access left if it is filed. She admitted in a since-deleted tweet that she merely wanted peace and didn't want to fight back. "I'm paying for it now." After a leaked voicemail surfaced on YouTube and gossip blogs, the narrative took a different route. Blueface's voice was allegedly heard instructing his sister to prevent Chrisean from accessing CJ and to fake the eviction for dramatic effect, causing chaos. According to him, "Let the cameras roll. It is necessary to humble her. She will fight back if she cares. But we must demonstrate to her who is in charge. Who is in charge."
In a now-deleted tweet, she acknowledged that she didn't want to fight back and that she only wanted peace. "Now, I'm paying for it." Then, the story took a different turn when a leaked voicemail appeared on YouTube and gossip blogs. It purportedly featured Blueface's voice telling his sister to deny Chrisean access to CJ and to stage the eviction for dramatic effect, making it messy. He says, let the cameras roll. She needs to be humbled. She cares, she will fight back. But we have to show her who controls the strings. The single tweet, she made it clear that anyone who thought her story had reached its climax was mistaken. What had initially appeared to be a chaotic custody battle has now been revealed as a far darker narrative marked by deliberate, cold-hearted cruelty masquerading as concern beneath the surface. What had been reported as a custody decision rooted in concern was now exposed as premeditated manipulation. The tide quickly shifted, and influencers who had remained neutral started speaking out. And support for Chrisean surged again, louder, sharper, and more united. The act of packing away Chrisean's entire life, including her child's crib, private medical records, confidential legal paperwork, and even her private diary, was not a simple lesson. Rather, it was a calculated strategy meant to exert power over Chrisean and silence her voice despite being imprisoned. Blueface acted as the puppeteer, using his family as his public relations team. What should have been a private, difficult family matter was turned into content fodder, turning personal pain into public entertainment. The humiliating move made it clear that she was not only being removed, but also being erased and exposed, as the eviction took place in public view. Many people's thoughts changed from why to who stands to gain from this spectacle. When leaked surveillance photos from inside the storage unit appeared online, the images revealed boxes that were carelessly left open, revealing secrets meant to remain private. Medical records that detailed her vulnerabilities, court documents that revealed ongoing battles, and pages of a personal journal that documented a woman's raw, unfiltered struggle. It was such a blatant invasion of privacy that Chrisean's ordeal serves as an example of the emotional toll exacted when personal trauma is thrust into the spotlight, dissected and consumed by millions who may never fully understand it. It went beyond the already cruel act of eviction. One tweet captures the collective shock and anger with blunt honesty. They didn't just evict her, they exposed her. This exposure wasn't just physical, but symbolic, an unraveling of the very thin veneer separating private pain from public spectacle. The question of what will happen next is how Chrisean will reclaim her narrative from the wreckage of this public unraveling, and what price she will pay for daring to fight back against a system that sought to silence her. The calculated nature of this drama has sparked a fierce debate over the boundaries of protection versus punishment, responsibility versus retaliation, and whether the eviction was actually about protecting a child's well-being, or if it was a power play concealed under the guise of concern. Apparently, her friends refused to comment. Her team canceled all planned interviews, and rumors began to circulate that she had filed for emergency custody and was seeking a restraining order against Blueface's entire family. One outlet claimed that she was hiding out in a secure location, but it was the brief Instagram story that she posted and quickly deleted that sent shockwaves, allowing them to play their game. I'm preparing my proof that war just crossed the line, and now fans aren't waiting for another emotional outburst. Instead, they're bracing for a bombshell. Damning receipts and legal ammunition that could change the custody dispute and potentially ruin careers. Her silence, for one, speaks volumes. This isn't a retreat, it's preparation. But just when it seemed like everything was coming to a head, another twist emerged. Carissa Blueface's mother went live, and her final remarks left the internet in tears and shaking rage. She warned her family, "You think you hurt her, but you played yourself. I've been quiet for too long. I've seen the paperwork. I know who's really unfit." The live stream concluded with a chilling confession. "Remember, I was present when you guys planned the entire thing." That one sentence turned the plot around once more. What exactly was planned? Is Carissa going to turn against her own blood in court? The fallout is just getting started. Rumors of a surprise witness, unreleased recordings, and a courtroom confrontation have fans waiting for what could be the most explosive chapter yet. Was Blueface the puppet master all along? Or is there more to Chrisean's story than we've been told? Whatever happens next, one thing is for sure. This isn't just a celebrity drama anymore, this is war, and the truth is rapidly approaching.